Hi, everyone. Drinker here, and we are doing another one of these little live streams. We did one a few months ago, actually, where we interviewed some of our main actors from the short film Trial by Fire that we did. And since the other movie is now complete as well, Complications, we decided we were going to do another one of these things and talk to our leads on that, give you a little bit of understanding of what goes on behind the making of like these independent short films, the experience of the actors, what they all thought of it, and how it all came together. So we figured, why not? Let's just do it tonight. Let's get started. So we did originally have scheduled Brian, who's like our lead actor from Complications. He plays the character of Dietrich. Unfortunately, they're having insane like monsoon weather in Canada right now, and his house is in the process of being flooded. But you know what? The absolute legend that he is, he said he would try and get on anyway. So I don't know. We might catch him from his rowboat. We'll find out. But anyway, we also have Maxine Denis, who's our co-lead in Complications. She plays the character of Mia, and we've also got Travis Grant, who's the director of the both Complications and Trial by Fire. So we'll get started with them so far, and hopefully Brian can join us when he's able to, and he's got his he's got his life vest on. So welcome everyone to the stream. Travis, who doesn't absolutely look like Moby at all, and Maxine. Good to have you guys here again. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Nice to be back.
Yes. So, yeah, it's been a while, Trav, since we've done one of these, but it's good to be doing it again. We did our little premiere in Toronto for Trial by Fire and Complications, and that was kind of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Definitely more than kinda, yeah. It was good.
You might have to tell me what happened towards the end, because I'm a little bit hazy.
You skipped out on the bill. That's what happened at the
end. Sorry, I caught up with Derek on that one, so I've squared him up. He's fine. I didn't want him hunting me down after this. What can I say? I'm Scottish. But
and I mean, you are called Critical Drinker, so it just fits the image.
That the problem is, right, people want to do drinking contests with you the whole night. Like, I set myself up for a fail there. Every time we do like an event, a fan meetup, whatever, like everyone's like, right, let's do shots, drinker. And it's like, cool. Like, I'm fine doing that with one person, but doing it with like 6 or 7 people simultaneously, it's a bit different. It usually ends in tears, but yeah, it's part of the fun. Anyway, so obviously, people will know Travis from what he's done with Rogue Elements, with Trial by Fire. They will not be familiar with you so far, Maxine. So you play the character of Mia in Complications. Now, Brian came into this obviously having played the character of Dietrich before, so he's very much revisiting the role. He got to delve into the character a little bit more. But you, as an actor, were coming into this kind of fresh, and you probably didn't know anything about the series that it's based on, and the character really that you were going to be playing. So, I mean, what was your experience of working on this? How did you approach it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at first, I didn't necessarily know that everybody had kind of already done this before, that this was like another part of it. But, you know, when I found out, it kind of felt like going into senior year in a new high school where you're like, oh, everybody knows each other and I don't know anybody. But everybody was so welcoming. It was honestly, it was like joining a school I was meant to belong in from the beginning. So it was really sweet. Everybody made me feel super welcome. They were overnight shoots right off the bat too. So it was intense, you know, because anytime you have to switch your sleeping schedule around, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to somehow stay awake through all of this at the same time as act and, you know, survive. So I think it fit the character really, because she just had to survive this entire crazy night too. So I just went along with it.
Nice. I mean, I helpfully skipped out when it came to doing the night shoots and went back home. So that was great.
Yeah, that wasn't
I was very happy
at all, obviously.
Yeah, no, I imagine they're not a lot of fun, but you know, I guess as an actor, you're kind of used to that sort of thing, and you've got to, you know, you've got to maintain that focus, maintain that dedication to the character that you're playing. And with the character of Mia, like, she's a character with a lot of layers, I suppose, to her that gradually get peeled back as the story progresses, and you find out who she really is and what she really wants and why she's there. You know, how do you play a character that's got essentially is playing multiple roles herself? Like, is there anything?
I mean, honestly, they're some of my favorite ones to play. I've played another one similar where, you know, she's kind of like keeping a secret for a solid chunk of the story. They're my favorite because you can have like a lot of depth, and you can do a lot with like looks, and you can do a lot with internal dialogue, where once someone knows and finds out, you know, who this person is and they watch it back, that's my favorite part. If those moments get like kept into the story, then they can watch it back and be like, wait, that look was related to this thing and not what we thought it might have been, right? Because looks can be ambiguous, but once you start to realize who this person is, then you can kind of play around with it. So I think I really loved sort of adding that layer and that depth that you were talking about when you see who she is, and like she's a girl pretending to be a girl pretending to be a girl kind of thing. Like it's fun. It's like a 3-layered cake, and there's just, you get to peel them back and then see what's up, and it's just cool to get to sort of act as an actor and an actor. Like it's just like so many layers.
Yeah. And for some of the people who haven't seen the movie yet, because we haven't released it fully, like the backers and stuff, the Kickstarter backers and so on will have seen it already. But yeah, like the character of Mia is not who she initially appears to be. And so she's essentially a person pretending to be someone else in order to get something that she needs from the main character, Dietrich, which is, you know, I imagine we wrote it in such a way, like we wanted to give the actors a lot to like work with there. Again, very different from Rogue Elements, where it was just kind of action scene after action scene or whatever. Like with these shorter movies, like Trial by Fire and Complications, we want it to be much more focused on the characters and more about just giving them interesting things to do and giving the actors interesting things to do. So, I mean, yeah, hopefully that came through. And
and there was some comedy too, which I enjoyed. So it was a mix of like some comedy, some action, some drama. It was nice to have all the different genres to play in one thing. I think that's what people want to watch too, you know?
There's a scene that like definitely got a few laughs in the premiere, which like we kind of wanted it to look that way, but it's weird because we didn't get the full effect of it until the VFX were added.
Of course.
Yeah, it was Jean-Luc who did that, wasn't it, Travis?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I pretty much said like, yeah, go really over the top with the effects that you put on here, and he really delivered. And it was ludicrous, but really kind of funny at the same time, and the audience took it in the spirit it was intended. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, Travis, what? So, I mean, you obviously had the experience of working on Trial by Fire. You then moved immediately on to Complications. You didn't even get a chance to catch your breath. What was it like working on that versus
So it was
Trial?
an interesting change from Trial. So Trial's like this like really like heavy short film where just bad stuff is happening to Frost the whole way through. And those make for pretty heavy shooting days too. And then switching over into Complications, like Maxine was saying, it's a bit of like a black comedy. It's some dark humor into it, which is kind of right up my alley. And it was interesting because it's day one for a lot of people, but it was like day, I don't know, 5 or 6 for other people. And it was already a slog going through Trial, and then going into night shoots. Everyone was already like, people were starting to lose their mind. That's when the gear started breaking down. And I also felt bad because I don't know what happened to scheduling, but like we called you in like way too early almost every single day, and you just sat around for forever. And I always felt bad about that. I was like, why is she even here? Just sitting there doing nothing.
It's part of our job. I always say the hardest part of our job is the waiting. So
yeah, sit around. What is it? Oh shit. Sorry, I'm a little sunburnt. I was like out all day today, and this pasty white skin is not meant for the sun. And
you don't look terribly sunburned, I'll be honest.
No.
Well, that's just it. It goes like slightly less white and then goes back to white again. That's how I go. Okay, but overall, it was super fun. Like working with Brian again was really, really fun. That was what kicked off this whole Kickstarter part 2 type thing. Was what I had pitched doing another Dietrich or doing a Dietrich short, which we had talked about already, and it was supposed to be something a little bit more serious. And then we decided to kind of transition into something else, which I'm glad we did, because we were able to kind of lean into Brian's comedic side, which you see a glimpse of that in Rogue Elements, but we definitely push a little bit further into Complications without turning it into something silly. Like the humor is there, I think, because I told Brian, like, you're a guy who's got like PTSD or something, and the way you deal with it is through just dark humor. Like it's not meant to be played for laughs or anything like that, but that's kind of how it comes off. So it comes off more real, I suppose. And then trying to think, I'll get into a couple of stories because I'm going to have to jump off here in a little bit. It was also probably the last night was the hardest night. And I don't know how much you knew what was going on, Maxine, because I don't know. I was like super busy doing stuff. We were setting up our first shot of the night, which is the very last shot of the movie. And the camera's all set up. It's on a dolly. We've got Brian all blocked. And we're joking around, and I can see Adam, our first AD, like grumpily walking towards me at a pace that tells me that I'm about to have a bad night. And he goes, yeah, the location, the guy who owns this place wants us out in 2 hours. And I was like, what? 2 hours?
Right? It was in the warehouse or something?
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah, because we were supposed to be shooting in this garage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, how am I going to shoot like 4 pages or whatever in 2 hours? And he's like, but don't worry, there's this big empty warehouse behind the garage that he says you can use. So we went in there, took a look around, and I grabbed the Ken and his son, and I was like, you two, turn this into a set. You've got 15 minutes. Let's go. So I went back, did some shoot. I did a couple of takes with Brian, and then I went back to the location. They had somehow had it all set up and was ready to, Sean, the DP, was setting up lights that didn't exist in there. And we did some pretty quick blocking, and then we were off to the races, which...
Yeah, honestly, I remember there being an issue. And then I remember coming back and looking at the set and being like, this doesn't look like an issue. I remember being like, this looks great. Why are people stressed out? This looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's exactly like what I had in my head.
Yeah, 100%. Me too. It was like, hey, here's my shot list. Let's just burn that, get that out of here, and we'll do something else.
It would be short filmmaking, hey, if you didn't have to constantly improvise and solve problems.
Yeah, and I always say, like, that's kind of like my bread and butter, like my background beyond like short filmmaking. I love doing 48-hour film competitions, and like I've done that for like 15 years straight, and all that is just doing everything by the seat of your pants. So it's like a second nature. You don't want to ever have to really do that on like a professional shoot, but like when the situation arises, it does allow you to kind of like zig and zag when you need to.
It's interesting when you were talking about Brian as well, and like how he played Dietrich, because yeah, that was the thing that jumped out at me with Rogue Elements. He plays him completely different from how he's written in the books, but he makes it work. Like he absolutely makes it work by just embracing the sort of dark humor of the character, and actually turned him into something a lot more interesting. And so like I wrote that into the script then for this movie, where we get to have a bit more fun with him, and we get more of an insight into like his warped view of the world. And yeah, he's kind of a selfish asshole, but like he also has like a slightly redeemable side that gradually comes out over the course of it, which I think is fun to explore.
Yeah, and I think that's the depth you were kind of talking about. It also exists in Dietrich. There's this, that, like, you know, if we're not going to spoil anything, but what he does in the film, why would he do that if he didn't have that side?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He just wouldn't.
There's certainly during the editing process as well, there was like a lot of back and forth between Travis and I about like scenes that we needed to trim down or cut or whatever. Like how much do we want to reveal about Mia and what she's really trying to do, and whether she might be perhaps lying to him and making things up. And that again was a process much like what we had with Trial by Fire, where there was different viewpoints on that. But Trav, how did that go? How did you feel about that?
You know, like Complications, actually, between Trial and Complications and Rogue, Complications was probably the easiest one to edit, just from like the shift of what's happening scene by scene, because really it's like you have your present and you have your past, and it's pretty easy to kind of jump back and forth, and it's just a matter of finding the correct moments of when to do that and when to trim. Trial was a little different because you're going into the past, into the past, into the past, into the present, into the past, right? And then Rogue has a bunch of time jumps in it as well. The most complicated thing about Complications is I accidentally bricked the hard drive that Complications was on, the main hard drive. I had a backup one, but
I didn't know that.
it went flying
Finding
off
out
my
all this
desk.
great
And
stuff
to this
now.
day, I still don't know how it happened. I was sitting there editing, and then all of a sudden, the hard drive, if it's sitting here, just went, ploop, and I just heard a clunk, and it was there was a lot of swearing. There was a lot of swearing.
Well, that's a lesson in backing up if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, we have 4 hard drives backed up for that purpose, and I have one. Sean has one in Vancouver, and who is I think Carson might have the other one.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it worked out well in the end. We got a finished film, so all of that stressful stuff was kind of removed from me. So that's the important thing. No, it was writing this film was an interesting one because I feel like the script for Trial came together really easily, but like the script for Complications was much more complicated, interestingly enough. Like, as you know, as Travis was alluding to earlier, there was originally a much more serious, more straight up story for Dietrich because like that was what you had in mind for him. You wanted him to be like in a very self-contained little story where he's been captured and he's like put through all these kind of psychological tortures or whatever. And it's a real like stripping back what the character is. And so that's what I wrote script wise. But then we discovered like, right, the other short film that we'd done, which Maxine, you're probably not aware of, but like that was also part of this project, was done by a friend of mine. It also involves a bunch of people who've been captured and they're being psychologically tormented and stuff. And Trial by Fire has got elements of that as well. And so Travis pointed out, we can't have every fucking movie just being the same thing, man. We have to vary it up. And so it's like, okay, great. Like I just spent weeks writing this, but fine, I'll just go back and do something else. So we came up with this completely different idea, which is going to be like a sort of comedy, dark comedy, should I say, but still set within that same world that has a bit of fun with that character. And so, I don't know, I feel like somehow at the end of this, we ended up with a pretty fun, interesting, good movie.
Yeah, and talking to a lot of people at the premiere, that Complications ended up being a lot of people's favorite between the three. Which was quite interesting to me because I view Complications as like the black sheep of the trilogy. Just tonally, it's just very different than the other two, right?
But everybody loves a black sheep. I think that's the exact point.
Yeah. 100%. And
there's something that maybe it takes them out of the trend, and they're like, "Whoa, unexpected," and it like kind of throws them in a different direction.
Yeah, you know, the hardest thing actually for Complications was getting the music right, because the music, and I was not worried, but I had been thinking about it the whole time, because usually before I film, I have like a soundtrack already built up in my head, and that helps inform me on how I want to shoot stuff. And with Complications, it was like very murky. And when we were composing Trial by Fire, Max and I were kind of going back and forth of what we thought Complications was going to be, and we had all kinds of like scratch tracks and stuff done up, and nothing was really landing. And I was having a conversation with Brian, and I don't know how it came up, but he said he had mentioned what director was it?
It's got to be some kind of Western thing, because that's the
that's kind of where I went. I mixed in the Western thing. It was Kill Bill. Yeah, he was talking about Kill Bill just offhand.
That is
and
the
that just and that clicked with me, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a sick soundtrack. Yeah. And we kind of used that as like a bit of an inspiration, like a jumping off point, and turned it into its own thing. And
but it's funny because it's like, it's the soundtrack that Dietrich plays for his own life.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point of the film. It's like he's the ultimate unreliable narrator. And so what you get from this is like his recollection of events. Yeah. So when you see him taking out like multiple guys, like it's nothing, that's the way he sees it, or the way he describes it. But it's like, did any of that happen? Did he struggle? Like, what actually went on there?
Yeah.
And yeah,
there's a few other Easter eggs that I put in there to make him a bit of an unreliable narrator that I've never voiced what they are, but if you watch and you see, you'll be like, oh, okay. And that'll that goes to just kind of solidify that he's just full of shit when he's telling this story. I mean, the story happened, is just embellished, and he hasn't kept track of where he's embellished that story.
Yeah, and he's portrayed himself very much as like the heroic character in this story. Ultimately,
Yeah.
Was he?
And we'll never know unless we get a different person's perspective telling the story, and maybe it's a different one.
Yeah.
There's still time for another Mia movie. Okay, I'm just saying we can do that.
Her perspective might just embellish her, and then we're back.
Yeah. Well, it's like everyone's lying.
Yeah, actually, there's a couple of fun ways you could go with Mia, because she kind of reminds me of, I can't remember the name of the character. She wasn't like a major character in the books, but she does kind of remind me of like this duplicitous person. She was someone who was messing around with Ryan in one of the later books, making him believe that she was someone else.
That's Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
she's
a
kind
bit
of
more
like, she is very much like her.
Yeah, she's a little bit maybe more of a psychopath compared to
Love a good psychopath though.
But yeah, there's a like a fun, interesting thing with Mia too, because again, it's like what she's conveying to the audience is like, is that real or is she full of shit too? Because we don't necessarily answer all of those questions.
There's literally no time. So yeah. It's a lot of is left hanging, which is what's cool about these kinds of short films that they
fill in the blanks.
I was going to ask as well, like, because one thing I'm always conscious of with these short films, especially independent films, is like the lack of time to get takes done, you know, and to get it right. And so compared to say like bigger productions or whatever, where maybe you've got multiple takes to find the right vibe for a specific scene or whatever, what's it like working on like an independent production like this, where you've got like less time to get it right?
Yeah, honestly, I've had like a decent amount of experience in both sides, the bigger, more time spent into it productions, and then the smaller indie ones where it's kind of like, you know, you got to work on a crunch, if you will. There's definitely an element of, if you can't handle the pressure and you can't come in prepared, everybody's just going to be really frustrated if you're not getting it. Because at the end of the day, if you can be someone who does a solid, decent take in the first take, they'll give you a second take. And if everybody's like, oh my God, we're done, everybody starts to have like actor included, like everybody just gets like a little bit of a breath. And then if you can keep up that track, it just lightens the set. Like I genuinely believe that. So there's definitely an element of coming in prepared and not letting nerves get to you, for sure. Yeah. Like you have to have that, because otherwise forget it. Like it's just going to be exhausting, because they still need to get the shot. So even if you don't have time to do more than 2 takes, if you're not getting a single usable take, everybody's stuck. So I think there's an element of pacing. You got to keep it up and keep it moving. You got to get there and do your thing. You have to turn off a little bit of the needy actor, I find, in indie things. You got to you do. Like actors love feedback. They love to be told they're doing great or whatever, you know? So if you can turn that off and then just do your thing, and a director can be like, and you can just be like, we're good with the thumbs up. We don't need to embellish, you know, we could just go like, we're good, let's move on. And then I'm like, you know, you're the director, I got to trust you, and you got to trust me. And then you kind of built this working relationship, and you can keep going. So I learned that early on, because I started more in indie. I started in this field where it's like a lot more, and I did feature film indies. So that's like, you know, 20 days, 18 days during COVID, where you're getting days taken away from you because of COVID. So you're like, we already had barely enough days to make this movie. Now we're taking them away because it's a COVID positive. Yeah. Like can't do this. So there's just anything can go wrong. Like you said, Travis, anything can go wrong. So it's about that. It's like how you have the experience with the 72-hour things. I have it as well with indie projects, and there's a funness, there's a rawness to it that I really, really like, and I think I will always love that.
We do have some good news. We've got Brian backstage. He's made it. He's made it.
I hope his basement's not flooded.
Well, we'll find out, I guess, in a second. Brian, if you're ready, I'll bring you in. Hey, man.
Oh no.
He's at the beer already. It's been a tough day.
You know, the expression, when it rains, it pours. It was like horrible. Not horrible. Other people in the area, I heard, have had like 3 feet of water. But
what? You're right next to me, Brian. We're neighbors. I'm so confused. I'm sitting in my basement and I'm not flooded. So
well, you've got good drainage then.
You'd get a better basement, Brian.
He's literally a 10-minute walk from me. He's not far.
Yeah, but you saw rain. I wasn't making this up.
No, it was torrential. Like I was like, we're in the Amazon rainforest. Like I felt it.
Yeah.
When Canada does rain, it does it big.
It does rain.
Typical Toronto summer. It gets really, really hot, and then
Yeah.
it pours, and then sunshine comes back. But yeah, it was. Yeah, it's been a bit hairy. So apologies for my late arrival.
I mean, you don't need to apologize. It sounds like you've been fighting for your life there. So,
Well, I got to.
yeah, I'm just glad
I'm happy and make sure that he's looked after. But yeah, all is well.
well, I'm glad you were able to join us.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about the experience of making Complications.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know, we've chatted with Maxine a little bit about, you know, coming into this series like relatively fresh, like not having experienced it before. You had the opposite experience because you'd already been part of this with Rogue Elements. You were playing the same character again. You were coming back to it. But what was it like to play Dietrich again, but to actually, like, I don't know, dive in a little bit deeper to who he actually is as a character?
It was a thrill for one thing, and you know, opportunities like this don't come around very often. And the idea of exploring and coming back to this character in a world that, you know, in the Ryan Drake universe is you know, it gave him an opportunity to see another side of him, to play, to dig deep, and give me an opportunity to see what was under the surface, so to speak, and just to have fun with it. It was just such a blast. And the idea that and I'm going to repeat this, but we did this in 4 days.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
Overnight. Overnights.
And that is, you know, you have to have everybody on board. Everybody has to be in a positive mindset that believes in the project, that feels like this is something that we've got, this is something special, and we bonded. It was really a remarkable experience. And like I said, it was an opportunity I knew wasn't going to come around very often. So I really wanted to pay tribute to the character, the writing, the world, and really do it justice and have fun and tell the great story that we were able to tell. So yeah, it was a blast.
No, I was saying to these guys just a few minutes ago, like, all of you guys brought something different to these roles. Like, you know, Andrea just instantly got Frost. Like, I feel like that's just basically her personality. And so, like, you know, it was easy for her. You very much made the character of Dietrich your own. And I was saying earlier, like, you played him completely different from how he was written in the books, but in the best possible way, where it's like you injected a kind of dark humor to him, to the point where I then wrote that into the storyline for Complications, much more than, say, Rogue Elements, where again you had a lot of fun with it, but like this was your chance to kind of really showcase you know, your performance as the character, and you absolutely did. And like the feedback that we got from all the different from people at the premieres was like, yeah, this was like my favorite part of it. Like, he was my favorite character. We just enjoyed him. Yeah,
and what a huge it's just a huge compliment. And it is, you just trust that it's all going to kind of turn, you hope it's going to turn out the way you envision it in your mind. And you're like, I think this is what it is. I think this is what we're, you know, in terms of an interpretation, in terms of what I had set out and what I thought was going to play. But you never know. And I'm so thrilled with the final results. And in the preparation of the part of and I told you this at the premiere too, Will, that, you know, I was listening to the audiobooks and listening to Sam Devereaux, who does a great job of doing all of these characters, but also trying to say, well, it's separate myself from what Sam was doing with Dietrich and staying within my lane in terms of what I can do, what I can bring to the part. And it was an amazing collaboration in terms of working with Travis. We really worked well together and had so much fun on the first project. It was, it was a joy. Even in the 11th hour, it was an exhausting and tired. Everybody's just so jacked. I don't know how many Coke Zeros I had, probably.
I took naps in the backseat of cars. Like I perfected power naps. I literally was woken up by the AD multiple times. I took multiple 15, 20-minute power naps. I was like, that was the only way I was surviving.
Yeah. There's only so much coffee you can drink, I guess.
Literally. I was just going to become like agitated by the end of it. It's not even...
It was a weird thing as well, because I only Brian, I only met you at the premiere. Like, although you were in Rogue Elements, like your scenes were filmed when I wasn't there, and then like I wasn't there for complications, and so that was the first time I actually got to meet you face to face.
It was great. First I was like, am I taking this personally? Why is he not showing up on the dates I'm filming?
I was just avoiding you,
Really
you know.
Yeah, but it it was so great to see you, and I hope here's to more.
No, absolutely. And yeah, like I say, like as much as I can't think of Frost now without seeing Andrea's face somehow. Like it's the same with you, with Dietrich now. Like whenever if I imagine a scene with him or the other characters or whatever, like I imagine your intonation, like the way you move and stuff, and the way you play him. I feel like now if I was to write another Ryan Drake novel with Dietrich in it, it would be tempered by like the experience of these movies, which is
Well, bless you.
Definitely credit to you.
Yeah, bless you. Thank you for that. The other great silver lining of all this is that it forced me in the best possible way to really take care of myself physically. It really challenged me to be disciplined. I've never worked so hard on a part. I had some lead time as well on this, whereas the first film, we had 3 weeks of notice, and now I knew that we were doing this. I had months, so it really had put me in a position to really get myself into a physical routine, and got me into the best shape of my life. So I have this project to thank for that, and it feels great to be able to be prepared and just show up and to play and be surrounded by some fantastic talent.
Well, you did say in Rogue you wanted to get involved in the action, and so we wrote this saying, right, we're going to beat the shit out of this guy. So there you go. You got us to thank for that. Oh no,
we are the best team. We are the best stunt coordinators, and we just felt so well taken care of, and we have Carson to thank for that. I mean, he really was. He doesn't get enough credit for what he's done putting together those people and really feel like this is top notch. This is indie, but it's also professional. This is a professional job.
Yeah, the stunt crew was awesome. They were doing some epic things right in front of our eyes, and it was like, wow, just to see it. And yeah, they clearly knew what they were doing. It's cool.
Yeah. And they're a different breed of cat too. These
totally
just like, oh yeah, and they become like 5 years old again. They're like, we're gonna do this and we can do this, and then it's all they just get such a jolt out of it, and that's infectious to be able to do that.
Yeah, and pretty much everyone that was on. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Maxine.
No, it's okay. I just mean that they're all they're 5-year-olds, and then they end up doing the scene, and they're supposed to be these big tough mob guys, and it's like you just they're fully acting as well. Like they're complete credit. It's complete acting. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And a lot of them, almost all of them actually, were all in Rogue as well. They were all stunt guys in Rogue and did all the behind the scenes stuff with that, which was cool to have them all back on set. It was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, DL was like a stunt man in Rogue, and suddenly he gets bumped up to being a major character in Trial by Fire, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's neat. But the objective with this, as with Trial, was we wanted to focus less on the action and the shooting and stuff like that, and get more into the characters. And I think we had a lot of fun being able to do that. There is still some shooting, and there is still a few people get killed in quite spectacular fashion. But yeah, I think mostly it was about delving into who these people are, and that was a lot of fun to write. It's much more fun for me as the script writer to go into that kind of thing rather than just write an action scene, because that's just procedural. That's just, do we satisfy X, Y, and Z demands here, and then can the stuntmen take it over? But the more character-based stuff where it's just people sparking off each other, that is the more interesting thing for me to write about. And it was great to see you guys just perform these scenes that I'd only had in my head up until that point. When I saw
really
the
cool
first
as a writer.
Yeah, I mean, it's surreal and cool and weird and scary all at the same time. But then when I see those rough cuts of the scenes pieced together, it's like, oh damn, they nailed it. They got it. And it's really cool to watch that played out in front of you. So yeah, it's awesome stuff. I wish I'd been there for it. Like I say, I had to kind of make a choice between Trial or Complications, because like I couldn't just be away from work and everything for like 2 weeks straight. And I picked Trial, but like, yeah, I would love to have seen you guys work on that. Not that I would have changed anything. It was more just like it would have been cool to see it actually happen.
Mhm.
But for the sake of the all-nighters that you missed, I think you made a good choice.
Yeah.
I think I was happy enough with that. Yeah, I did a few. Like, what was it? We were up till about 4 a.m. with Trial at one point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because we
I
were
was-
transitioning into it to get the crew ready for Complications. Because I think Trial, I think the last day was like really late, like close to an overnight shoot.
yeah,
I mean, we saw the sunrise, so
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we definitely
did an
overnighted.
all-nighter. Yeah,
Yeah.
usually all-nighters are at nightclubs and stuff, and like you're just drunk by
But
the
you
end.
also sleep all day, which I still didn't get a chance to do. Like, I don't know, the weather was so nice. Brian and I went canoeing at one point. Like, the hotel we were put in was just so cute and quaint that we were just exploring a little bit. So, yeah,
Oh,
and you get ready early. So.
Great.
Was it the same hotel as Trial?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. That was just like a giant cabin in the woods with
Yeah.
like, multiple rooms in it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I was in Carson's RV, and I feel like I got the better deal there.
I got to chill in that RV for a little bit too.
Yeah, it's nice. Like, yeah, I like what he's done. Yeah, like let me answer a few super chats that have come in here as we've been talking. Yeah. First time I've seen your face, you don't really look like an alcoholic to me. Interesting. Well, looks can be deceiving. What can I say? Let's see. As a 6'4", 325 pounds retired wrestler and actor, if you need a physical performer who's fine with working for free for the love of it, I'm available. All right. Well, thank you very much. We did have a guy that was basically like that for Complications. I don't know what sort of height he was, but he looked
He was huge.
ginormous.
He was a large man.
Massive.
Look at the behind the scenes. I put my head right next to his shoe print, and it's like big, way bigger than my head.
Yeah.
And the
That
funny
looked quite
part of that is he drove like a Audi R8. Like it was like it was like a cockpit. To see this guy get into the car was like it was almost like a clown car because it was sports.
That's hilarious.
Let's see. Sty Games. Drinksy, can you play Lord of Ring on PS4? I'm telling you, man, Az has got the final say on that. He gets to pull the trigger on this because I forced him to play Last of Us Part 2 from start to finish. And so he gets to decide my punishment. And if he wants me to play Lord of Ring Gollum, I will do it. You know, I'm making my way through the new Halo game right now. So as best I can say. Oh yeah, can you also play it on Xbox One? Well, pick your fucking console, man. It's all the same. Jesus. Drinker, panel and chat. I've been a backer on both of your Kickstarters, and I'm thoroughly glad that I did. Question: what does the future look like for the Drinker verse after the competition winner release? Yeah, Travis, you're about to start filming on that.
Yeah, I go to picture on that on the 24th, exactly 2 weeks from now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, it's close.
That's exciting.
Yeah. But yeah, as for the future, well, we're going to be doing a premiere in London, which I've talked about. That's on September the 10th. So looking forward to that. And then we'll release it onto YouTube. Like we'll do, Complications, Trial by Fire, and we'll do the winner of the short film competition as well. So that's Last Exit Diner. And then after that, I don't know. We'll see what we fancy doing. What do you feel like doing next, Travis?
I don't know.
Should we do a horror? Should we do a romance?
Ooh.
Who knows?
A romantic horror comedy.
Sky's the limit.
There you go. That sounds good. What's this? Almost like the embellishment in the Claude Van Damme movie. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So JCVD, when
he's in the chair.
Yes. Well, it's more like when he gives his like fantasy version of like defeating the bad guys, and it's like all this spectacular like kung fu stuff, and then the real version is like really clumsy and short. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like Dietrich sees himself as the hero of his own story at all times, whereas the reality might be somewhat different. But that's just who he is. Yeah, drinker, when it rains, I pour. Well, cheers to you, sir. Yeah, welcome aboard as a new member. Enjoyed the movies at the premiere in Toronto. Maxine is the GOAT. There you go. You are the best. There you go. Alex Snake gifted 5 drinking memberships, so thank you very much, sir. Hey, Brian, did you ever work with Walter Gretzky growing up in my hometown of Brantford?
I didn't, but I met him one time. I was working in a grocery store as a kid, and this was right when Wayne was retiring. And what he would do is that he'd stand out in front of the grocery store in an envelope full of glossy signed photographs. Signed, Wayne had signed it, and he also signed, and Walter. He gave it to whoever wanted one. And at the time, this is the type of guy he was. He ran out of photos. He says, "Hold on, I'll be right back." Gets in his car, goes home, gets more, and continues to sign and hand out more photographs. He was an incredible ambassador for the city, and completely humble. Anybody could knock on his door. He wanted to see the trophy room and take you down, and it transformed that city. His son, and he was obviously grateful for that. And
Awesome.
it was really humble.
Drinker, I love your channel. Please watch the movie Look Back. I promise it's amazing. Well, I will, maybe. But not because you told me to, okay? I'll just do it off my own back. Ryan Drake, in Resident Evil universe. Fuck yeah, he would just kill everything, man. He'd have a great time. I was lucky enough to see this in Toronto. I really, really enjoyed watching the movie and meeting everyone involved who was there. So much talent.
Yay.
Yeah, the premiere in Toronto was a whole lot of fun, man. The atmosphere was great. It was great to meet so many people. And the whole thing was just a really fun experience. I'm glad you all got to go. I'm glad I was there. It was
the
great
theater
fun.
was cool too. It was really awesome.
Yeah. And I'm glad I got to see Toronto finally. Like every time I've come to Canada, I've literally seen the airport and like some random warehouse at the ass end of nowhere. So it was nice to like just spend a few days in the city and see the sights. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Travis, I know you've got to run because you're out of time, sadly. You've got to record some funky tracks. Thank you for joining us, my friend. And
nice to see you, Travis.
Yeah, it was nice to see you guys. Just before I leave, I just want to say it was really fun working with you two. I had a lot of fun on Complications. Brian, the kind of nucleus of where I saw Dietrich going was that silly short film we shot that like 4 people saw on Rogue when we were waiting to do something on Rogue Elements. Dietrich's Day Out, which is like this weird comedy thing that happens to Dietrich while he's waiting for the rest of the mission to finish, and he's off to the side and the shenanigans he gets up with, and it's just pure stupid. And I had a lot of fun doing that, and I'm glad we were able to take some of that energy and put it into Complications.
Absolutely. It was an honor, a thrill, an honor, and a real privilege to be able to do that, to do it again.
All right.
Yeah, lovely working with you too, Travis.
Yeah, it was lovely meeting you and working with you, and hopefully we get to work again. Will, I guess I'll see you at some point.
Oh, whatever, man. Fuck off.
Okay, bye.
I guess, before we finish up here, this is a chance to ask you guys, like, what have you got coming up next that you're allowed to talk about? Because I know a lot of the time it has to be secret until it's out, all that sort of thing. But yeah, anything that you'd like to make people aware of that you guys are working on at the moment?
Nothing at the moment. I'm here's the reality of the situation. It's of the business is, I've been auditioning a lot for a lot of great projects, but nothing on the horizon just yet. But it seems like, we amount of time spending auditioning, preparing for something that may or may not come, might sound and seem crazy and insane for the amount of time, we're juggling our lives and families and what have you. But nothing on the immediate horizon. But again, it's everything changes by the week, it seems. But I'm building a deck. I'm building a deck off of my right now and fixing my.
Is it underwater at the moment?
I was gonna say, is it still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess on my end, it's same in a way. Like I get you, Brian, completely. You know, fellow actor to fellow actor, it can be very volatile, as they say. But I have a couple cartoons that are sort of in the post-production ether, which I was telling you a little bit about earlier, Will. And those should hopefully come. I think one of them is going to do cinemas, and the other one, I think, is just going to go straight to streaming. I can't say the names yet, but you know, on my Instagram, eventually it'll be shared. I have a movie I did. This is the story of indie. I did a movie 3 years ago. It feels like I was a different human being. And that should also come out in 2027. And that should hopefully, it's a beautiful indie film as well. It took like 3 years to edit and make because they kept on getting more money, which is cool. That one's called Celestine. It's not out yet. And then I just did a recent like pilot pitch project similar to this one that I'm going to hopefully get more information about over the summer. So let's see. But the audition world is definitely real. You do so many multiple times a week. It's just a regular hustle, and you just don't know. It's one of those things that could change your life tomorrow if you book a big one, which is always exciting, you know.
Is this I don't know if this is the same in Canada, but like I know one of the things they'd fought for during the actors strike was like actors wouldn't have to do like recordings of like audition tapes and stuff, because like that's a lot of time and effort and like money in a lot of cases to have to do that. Is it the same in Canada, or do you still have to do it, or what?
Like they give you options sometimes. Like I've seen it in breakdowns where they end up going like, if it's difficult for you, you can blah 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 blah. Like we can do a Zoom one. You can come in like sometimes. But honestly, the self-tape world is still the main thing. Like ever since, I mean, I kind of got into it pretty much around COVID. Like I just started just before COVID. So I had gone into like 3-4 in-person auditions before the world shut down. And then I started sort of perfecting self-tapes ever since then. This is my setup. Like I just have a room in my basement that's like the go-to. And I think if an actor can kind of master their self-tape, you have a leg up. And if you can make it so easy that you don't have to think about it, it's a win, because then you can just, then you don't have to, literally you don't have to think about it. I even have a little travel kit that I can take with me, and I've done auditions camping. I've done them the back of a car. I've done them like in the most random places, literally, because that's the beauty. It's a pro and a con, really. Like you could travel and do whatever you want and not have to like change your life too much, and you can keep auditioning and not have to like turn down an audition. But it can be difficult to figure it all out and get the right tech and know what you're doing. But I think they've tried, but I don't think it worked too well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think ultimately, you know, when you're casting, you're going to want to see how this actor performs this role.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it comes down to. You can see all the demo tapes in the world, but like they're playing other characters, they're doing other things, and like you're going to want to see how they read these lines, how they respond to that character, and how they resonate with it. And I don't know, there doesn't seem to be like an easy solution where it's like, okay, we can just make this simple for everyone. You need something from them.
Yeah, and that's the sad part. We don't get to show our personalities as much. I sometimes try to squeeze in some stuff in a slate if it happens naturally and organically, but it's hard to show your personality, and that's sometimes what sells us. I've been on things like this and like other projects where the day they meet me is the day I'm on set, and I'm like, that could really go wrong. Like I could be weird.
And
we all could.
And the reality is, the sad reality is in the state of affairs in Toronto, especially, is that there's not a whole lot of people working. It's slim. There's slim pickings for work, and so much so maybe on a North American scale, but even from what I hear, that Americans out of California are taking smaller roles that are filming in Toronto, so that you're already up against that as well in terms of the amount of opportunity there is. So it's a trickle down effect that there's just not a whole lot of work out there.
Well, I was going to ask you guys that just before we finished up here, like, because you know we hear on this channel and other places about like the downturn in like new productions in LA and stuff. Like, is that reflected in places like Toronto, or like, you know, what's it like for you guys?
Say we're getting a lot of the American ones here.
Right.
A few of them are actually being filmed here and done here and produced here because of the tax breaks, because of the, you know, it's just a little bit cheaper for Americans. But I always say, you know, I hope Canadians continue making more and more work because there's so much talent here. I'm starting to do it too. I want to make my own stuff, kind of just make my own films, make my own projects, put myself in them, put my friends in them. Because at the end of the day, that's kind of how it starts. I mean, we saw it with Obsession. This was just a YouTuber who decided to keep making movies, and then it blew up. I mean, that's, if anything, that's a huge sort of motivational reminder of like, anybody can really do it if you set your mind to it and you keep trying.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the exciting part. So
yeah, I think we're in a different era now of
Yeah.
filmmaking where like it's much more accessible than it was 10 years ago, even
totally.
because you
We
know
can do movies on
ultimately
our
like,
phones.
yeah, like the
Really.
equipment is like dirt cheap now,
Mhm.
and like ultimately all you need is a good hook, a good idea, especially with horror movies. Like that's why Obsession, Backrooms, and stuff did so well.
And that's
You've
what
got
I'm
a good
writing.
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
can
there
work
you go.
with that.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good place
You
to
can
go.
really, you can get a bit nitty gritty with horror. That's the beautiful thing about it, and that's what sells. So
Yeah. And the support. I mean, this is thank you to the backers. This is thank you for everybody out there that got behind us and we're able to make this happen and continue to show support. It's just remarkable. This is not something that would have happened, 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. It feels like there's definitely a movement here, and we're
there's
just
a fan base, which is cool.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the advantages of being a YouTuber like this, like getting to a certain level. It's like you can sort of leverage that to make projects happen, which is really fucking cool. And I'm extremely grateful to be able to do that, because the people who have contributed to all of these different projects, whether it was Rogue Elements a few years ago, whether it's this latest batch of things that we've done, they're the guys that have made this possible. It wouldn't have been even conceivable without all that support. And myself, Brian, Maxine, Travis, we're all immensely grateful for being given that opportunity and for people to have been so generous to make this happen. So thank you, everyone that supported it. And yeah, ultimately these movies, they're going to be available on the YouTube channel. Like we're going to do our premiere in London in a month or so. And after that, we'll put them out there. People can make their own judgments on them if they enjoyed them or not. And we move on to the next thing. But like, it's been an immensely fun ride this whole time. Being able to travel out to Canada, watch these things get filmed, hang out with the actors, watch all the stuff that goes on and all the little problems and stuff and all the little fun moments that come with it. It's been great. And so thank you for allowing that to happen, everyone.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Indeed.
But yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of our little stream here. But Maxine, Brian, it's been awesome to talk to you guys tonight for a little while and reconnect with you after the Toronto premiere.
Yeah,
and
great.
Wish you the absolute best with the next thing you've got coming up. But as I always do, I'll say that for now, that's all we've got for today. So go away now.
Bye.